Good morning. Today is Thursday, November the 21st, 2019. We being my family, my husband and I, have been wanting to buy a house. We have been really discussing it, checking our credit, watching our credit scores and everything since February the 24th of 2018. We found a lady with a bank. Let's see, when did we find her? I don't think I have that date down. But we started talking to somebody in 2018, probably around October, I believe. The lady pulled our credit scores, and we were talking about doing a USDA loan because our area qualifies for a USDA loan. There's, I don't think, any house in our county that, single family home that would not qualify for USDA loan. We are in USDA loan territory. I mean, this is perfect for USDA loan. USDA loan is for, I don't have that pulled up. Let's see what USDA loans, let's see what they say they're for. A USDA loan is a low interest mortgage with zero down payment, zero down payment, designed for low income Americans who don't have good enough credit to qualify for traditional mortgages. You must use a USDA loan to buy a home in a designated area that covers several rural and suburban locations. Well, the county we live in is rural. We have the beach, but it's still, the entire county is considered rural. And I'm saying rural. That's a hard word for me to say. RURAL. Rural. And it's not just for low income. I mean, it goes up to 100. Well, it depends on your family size, but it goes up to our family size, I believe, close to 100,000 a year. Well, to me, if you make 100,000 a year, you're not low income. But that might just be my area. I don't know. I do live in South Alabama, so I know we are quite a bit cheaper than other places like California. I'm sure the I guess, I don't know. Yeah, I'm sure that your income level can be higher in California. I'm sucking at this video. Anyway, this is part one of the series. I'm just trying to get the backstory up until this point. Okay, so we wanted to do a USDA loan because our area qualifies for it. There's zero down payment with it, and it just looks like a good program. My brother-in-law did it. My best friend did it. It seems like a really good route to go if you're trying to buy a house and you live in the area and you are within those income limits. So we dealt with a lady at the bank last September, October, somewhere in there, 2018. She pulled our credit. She told us what we needed to improve on. And then she changed jobs. When she changed jobs, she went to another bank and she called me and she said, "I'm not allowed to ask you this, but can I take you with me?" And I said, "Yeah, that's fine," because I heard about her through the grapevine. I mean, I didn't just look her up and find her. I went to my best friend's real estate agent that she suggested, the one that she used for her USDA loan. I went to her and she suggested this bank lady. So we went with her to the new bank and she said, "But it's going to slow you down just a little bit," because for some reason she had to be there for, I think, 2 weeks before she could accept new clients, I guess because of training or whatever. She said, "But that'll, halt the process for like those 2 weeks." And I said, "That's fine." I mean, we were slowly looking. We didn't realize it would be this slow, but we knew that it'd be, we were slowly looking. So she gets with the new bank. 2 weeks go by. I don't hear from her. She didn't call me or nothing. 3 weeks go by. Nothing. So I looked her up and I approached her again, looked up her new information, approached her again, And she said, "Oh yeah, I'm sorry, I've been busy. Yeah, let's get you to fill out all the same paperwork with this bank, with the new bank." And that's a lot. If you've ever bought a house, or if you've ever looked into buying a house, they need everything. I mean, pay stubs, um, checking account statements forever, any savings account statement that you have, you name it, they ask for it. Copies of taxes for the past several years. I mean, they want everything. So, good thing was I had a lot of it from the prior bank that she dealt with. So I had a lot of the copies there, but of course had to update the checking account information, the new statements, the new pay stubs, all that good stuff. And there's a lot of paperwork that you have to fill out, like a lot of online questions. You know, they want everything about you. So you have to fill all that out. So I had to go and fill all that out for the new bank. I had to give her new copies of everything. She pulled my credit again. And time goes by and she never emails me back or never calls me back. So I email her and I'm like, "Well, what's going on? You know, we haven't heard from you lately." And she's like, "Oh, I'm still working on it. I'm sorry, I've been busy." So she runs her credit again. A week or so goes by, same thing. "I haven't heard from you. Any news? Has there been any news?" She runs her credit again. Every time I contact this lady for anything, she runs our credit. And it's like, you're running our credit into the ground, lady. What are you doing? Well, I'm trying to find the last email that we exchanged. It went on for a long time. Okay, so the very last email that we exchanged was September 11th of this year. So she drug us along for a good 11 months trying to buy a house, checking our credit over and over and over again. Even times when we didn't agree to keep checking our credit, which I guess that's probably some of the papers we signed, but there's no need to just continuously check the credit. Not much has changed, you know. September 11th, 2019, she says, "So sorry for the delay. I'm so sorry, but your loan will not run through USDA underwriting system. I think it is because of the collections that have recently hit your credit report. I'm going to mail you the credit report for you to review. Do you know if these have been paid?" What I have researched on USDA loans, if the collections are medical, they don't count as much as, like your normal everyday, I don't know, you rented something from Aaron's and didn't return it, that kind of credit. Or you got your cable cut off and you never paid the back bill. Or, you owe on insurance that you never paid. I mean, just, silly stuff like that. But medical, I'd read that they didn't count as much. And I'd even looked up different YouTube videos and stuff, and it seemed like some medical collections were okay. So we did have 2 on there, but they were not new. She says, "I think it is because of the collections that have recently hit your credit report. Those were on our credit report way back in September, October of last year, 2018, when she first started checking our credit. And they were on our credit report every single time she pulled it." I was fed up. This was ridiculous that she drug us on this long, and all of a sudden, "Oh, can't help you." And she ended it with a question, "Do you know if these have been paid?" ? If I didn't get approved for the USDA loan, or we didn't get approved for the USDA loan, why not, as a banker, that I would think a new banker with that company, newer, she's been there almost a year now, newer banker with that company, wouldn't you think that she would try something else? FHA loan, HUD loan, anything else. Why stick with the USDA? I mean, I would like to use the USDA, but she never said, "Oh, well, do you have enough money for the down payment?" Or, "Can you borrow from 401k for a down payment?" You know, we can look at other plans. We don't know what we're doing. We're just normal people that want a house. I mean, that's your job as a banker to help me know what I need. And I know this now. I know about other loan programs and stuff now that I've researched them and stuff. But, I mean, I didn't know all that before. She knew I didn't know all that before. So why not help me out? Okay, you just don't want me as your customer. I mean, that's it. Just tell me that. Just, I could have moved on a year ago. We could have been in a house. Who knows? Anyway, that just really upset me. The email before that was, I think I have the income and everything situated. I mean, you know, everything just looked like it was going fine. Okay, so I put, here's what I see from my end. And I put all the details about the medical bills and, you know, all that stuff. And then I put I am confused. All are medical except one. Those count less with USDA. Also, our collections equal less than $2,000, which that was one of the things USDA says too. It needs to be, your collections need to be less than $2,000. Not that you can't have any collections on there at all, but that your medical collections need to be less than $2,000. I heard that is a plus with USDA. I will just pay them all off, which is what I should have done to begin with. That's true. That's true. I should have done it. I really should have done it. But I'm just confused. I mean, we have been renters for over 10 years and have had to pay monthly rent up to $1,250 a month and have not been one day late ever. Knock on wood. We're still renters. I know rent doesn't count, but with our monthly rent, we have paid more than 120 on-time payments, over $108,000 in that 10 years. Should have bought a house, I guess. Put that on there too. Should have bought a house, I guess. All of the above items were on our credit report last year when we first started attempting this. Does the underwriting system not give an exact reason? You say, I think. Does this mean we are just done? Next? And a bunch of question marks. Thank you for your time. Sorry I wasted so much of it. Okay, so I did get ugly towards the end. I didn't have to throw that last sentence in. Thank you for your time. Sorry I wasted so much of it. But never heard anything back. September 11th, I mean, I was done. I guess she realized by reading the email that I was done. But she does say in her email, I think it is because of the collections that have recently hit your credit report. As a banker, shouldn't she know? I mean, she thinks that's the reason. Okay. Bad stuff gone behind us. This year, right around, I'm not sure exactly what date. I'm surprised I don't know. Anyway, last month, either September or October, it was after this. My car died. It went kaput. Kaput? Is that right? It died. Whatever. Kaplunk? I don't know. Anyway, I deliver mail on Saturdays. I am a rural, again that word, R-U-R-A-L, I can't say it, rural carrier for the United States Postal Service. I work every Saturday plus any day they need me, which is really not that often. Now, this time of year, it can be, but normal throughout the year, I just cover my regulars vacation. I work for one lady, and then I know other routes, you know, in case I'm needed. But I just work her vacations if she's sick, you know, that kind of thing. If you would like some extra income and you have a car that you can drive, that job is the bomb. I'm telling you, it's the most stressful job I've ever had. It's really mentally challenging. Sometimes physically, but really mentally challenging. But it pays super duper well. It is a very good paying job. And it's not, and it can be fun at times, believe it or not. It can be fun at times. Please don't block your mailboxes. Get your trash cans away from your mailboxes. There's two sides of the driveway. Anyway, rant over. That with that job, I have to have a car that I'm able to either drive from the right hand side or drive from the middle, because I have to be able to reach the mailboxes out the right hand window. Well, my Ford Explorer died. It had 265,000 miles on it, I think, when it just said, I'm not doing this anymore. So we quickly had to find a replacement vehicle. And I heard the Honda CRVs were pretty good for delivering mail because their gear shift is in a very odd place. It's on the, kind of on the dash, not in the middle like most cars have nowadays. I can't drive. I'm a big girl. I can't drive with a gear shift in the middle. There's no way. But with it on the dash, I can. And I like it that way too, because the Ford Explorer, I had to totally redo the inside to make it where I could sit in the middle, because the console was so high. I had to rip it out and all that good stuff. And I wanted a car that I could use as a car during the week and put my magnets on it and my lights on it and all that stuff on the Saturday or whatever day I needed to work. And you not know during the week that I'm a mail lady. A lot of people don't like their mail people. I don't want people to know, that I'm delivering your mail, and I might accidentally get your address wrong once in a while, or might give you the past residence mail because I can't know all 756 of you on every route in town, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so we found a Honda CRV in Pensacola that was a good price. It was the color I wanted. It had good mileage. I mean, everything about it was great. So we went over there and we were picked up for the loan. We were picked up by a credit union. That credit union has changed our life. I mean, that credit union is, I'm not even exaggerating when I say that. I mean, they are the nicest people. I mean, you just wouldn't even imagine. I've always heard, get with a credit union. Get involved with a credit union. I've never listened. I mean, this is the first time I'm 41 years old. This is the first time I've ever had anything to do with a credit union. Well, they picked up the loan, and because they picked up the loan, they had to open me a savings account for $5. They put $5 in there because I had to be a member. And to be a member, you have to have an account. And to be a member, or to get a car loan, you have to be a member. So, they opened us an account, $5. They signed us on with the car loan, and they gave us a good interest rate, very good interest rate. I mean, lower than I ever thought. I don't have that information right here. I'd tell it. Lower than I ever thought possible. Then they called us the next day or 2 days later, a couple of days later, I believe, and offered us a very large credit card. And we've always thought, don't get credit cards, don't get mixed up in credit cards. You can max out credit cards and owe $20,000-$30,000, and then you're screwed. What do you do? So we've just, up until we started straightening our credit out, we never had credit cards. Never, ever had credit cards. Early last year, February, April, somewhere in there, is when we first got our credit card, trying to straighten our credit out for a house, or trying to help us build credit. When they offered us the credit card that was way more than the 5 credit cards we have now, we ended up, after all this, with 5 total credit cards. The credit card they offered us was way more than the 5 credit cards we had put together. And the way she sold it to me was the interest rate would be way lower. You could get cash out with this credit card, pay all 5 of those off. Still, your credit utilization rate would be only 23%, I believe. And the bank wants you to have below 35 to qualify for a house. Well, not really qualify for a house, but to make your credit, look good enough for a house. So I jumped on it. And if you're my cousin watching this, you know who you are. Yes, I told you that I haven't heard anything back. I didn't want to lie about it. We can't use the credit card. we can't do it. We can't get our utilization up above 35%. And we still have to use them for certain things. So we couldn't share. I'm sorry. Anyway, back to the story. Because we really, really want to get a house. So they did that. And then within another week, after us getting the credit card and moving everything from our other credit cards over to that, they called us again and said, how about we refinance your other car? And I said, no. I said, we just refinanced a couple of months ago. I said, won't that look bad? And they said, no. You'll save tons of money, in the long run on interest and everything. And, you'll have both your cars through us. You'll have the credit card through us. And, even when, and I'd already told the lady that got me the credit card, I'd already told her that I was looking at buying a house, hopefully soon. And she said, so you'll have the cars with us, you'll have the credit card with us, and maybe we can help you out with the house. Okay. I mean, this is just moving right along super, super fast. Well, the other lady, Melissa, I'll say her name. Her name's Melissa. The other lady at the other bank had drug it on for ever. I mean, almost a year after the initial credit checks. So with this new credit union, or they're not new, but we're new with them. With them, they called me the day after we decided to refinance our other car. The mortgage guy called me. She said, do you mind, the lady did ask me, do you mind if I pass your name on to the mortgage department? I said, no, that's fine. Well, he called me. That week, I worked a lot. I think I don't remember why I worked so much. I know my regular wasn't on vacation, so I must have worked for somebody else or something. Because my regular was on vacation last week. And this was before last week. But he called me the day after. She gave him the number, and I didn't answer. He left a message. Well, I had to talk to her one more time, the lady with the cars and the credit card in the credit union. I just talked to her one more time before everything was said and done. And I told her, I said, now my life has just been crazy busy working and, all this stuff. I said, will you please tell the mortgage guy that I'm not ignoring him, that I will call him back when life slows down just a little bit. And she did. She contacted him and she told him, because he never called me back. I never heard anything else from him until Monday. Did I work Monday? I worked Monday until Tuesday. Last Friday when I worked. I know this is a long story, but you've got to have all this back history. You can fast forward to the end, or you can just skip to the next episode, which is not going to be out until I have more information. I'm going to do a little series. This is part 1. But Friday when I worked, one of the acting regulars came in and she said, Roberta, I found you a house. And the postal workers know that I've been, kind of looking, that I've had my eyes on this one, because every time I find something that we're kind of interested in, I'll ask the carrier. That's the good part about working for a small post office. It's, well, good or bad. There could be bad things, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. But she said, I found you a house. And I said, you did? And she said, yeah. She said, every time I go by this house, I think of you. And I said, really? And she said, yeah. And she said, I know you were looking for a house. And she said, this house is really quirky. It's got stained glass windows throughout it. And she said, it just made me think of you because you're kind of quirky. Yeah, I guess I am kind of quirky. I never thought about that. I'm kind of that eccentric. I like weird decor and stuff person. I used to not be like that. I used to like just plain everything. But now it's like, oh, 4-foot M&M? Yeah, she belongs in my living room. Let's see. A life-size dog ottoman? Sure, he can go in my living room. yeah, let's spell our name out in 3-foot tall letters on our mantle. I mean, I'm just really odd. I didn't realize how odd I was until she said that. Um, Egyptian Mardi Gras costume in our living room behind a curio cabinet. Okay. Actually, that was my daddy's. He was king of the Mardi Gras organization, so I kept it in the curio cabinet. I've always wanted to do that. Anyway, back to my story. So she said, it's been abandoned for a long time. She said, why don't you check it out? Okay. Well, I was getting my mail ready, and she called me back and she said, hey, that house, there was a real estate agent there today, and I stopped and talked to her for you. And I was like, oh, okay. And she said that it is for sale, even though you can't find it online for sale. I've looked everywhere, you can't find it. They want $149,000 for it, but they'll probably take less because it's been for sale for a long time. So I got the address, I got the lady's information, all that stuff. When I got off work Friday, was it Friday or was it Saturday? It might have been Saturday. I don't know. Anyway, whatever, it was within the past week. When I got off work, I'd already called my husband and told him that we got to go look at this house. And I get off work and we go straight out there, and there's keys in the door, and the door's unlocked. And I'm like, oh my gosh! So I eased the door. I turned it. I didn't turn the key, but I turned the knob to see if it was unlocked, and it was. So I didn't unlock it. It was already unlocked. I opened the door and I looked in and peeked, and it looks like somebody's living there. It was full of stuff. And my husband's like, don't do that. My husband's at the car because he's not getting out looking at it. I'm looking in all the windows and stuff. And he's like, looking upstairs, making sure nobody's coming to the window or anything. He's like freaking out. My wife's going to get killed, go in somebody's house. But anyway, I didn't go in. I just looked in and took some pictures. But we went and sat in the car, I went and sat in the car, and I called. The lady did have a sign out. I called the lady, and she called me back, and she said that she could meet me the next day. Okay, this was Saturday, because she said she could meet me the next morning at 9 o'clock, and church is at 9:30. And we'd missed the last 2 weeks because we didn't feel well last week, and our youngest didn't feel well the week before, so we'd missed the last 2 weeks, and we did not want to miss again, because once you get in the rhythm of missing, we just keep on missing. And we really enjoy church, so we really didn't want to miss. We didn't want to get in that habit again. And we are blessed. We are so blessed. So I talked to her, and she wants to meet the next morning. Well, I said no, that we're going to work because we had church. And then we said the next afternoon, and she said no, because there's no power on. So nobody is living there because there's no power on. She said there's no power on, so we can't meet at night. So we're going to see it tomorrow. We have an appointment in the morning. My mama and my sister are coming because once I told them the story and about the stained glass throughout and all this stuff and showed them pictures and stuff, they were very intrigued as well. So, and it's on 5 acres, and it's got a pole for power, and it's already got water and sewer hookup for an additional, maybe a trailer or something you can add on the lot. And that's the big plus with me, because our oldest daughter has had some issues, and I would love to be able to get her rent-free for a while. She pays more rent than we do. She lives on the bay, so she pays pretty good rent. And she just lives in an apartment. We live in a 2-story house. But I would love to get her out of that and get her. She needs money. That's all I'm going to say. She's got issues right now that she's dealing with, and she just really needs to save some money. And that would just, if we could get her out somewhere rent-free, that would just be God's saving grace. So that would be perfect for her. Well, anyway, $149,000. Monday or Tuesday of this week, I contacted the credit union, and I said, okay, I said, we're ready to, and let me tell you, I'm not sure if I said this earlier or not, we paid everything off on our credit report. We paid medical, we paid everything off. so we don't have anything on there, anything collections wise. And I track my credit score like crazy. I mean, I've got a spreadsheet right here, and as of right now, my Equifax, my husband's Experian, and my husband's TransUnion are higher than they have been ever, ever. And all of our scores, I will tell you, range. We have one low one at 660. That's my TransUnion. It's at 660, and then they go all the way up to 693. My Experian, yeah. So between 660 and 693, with an average across the board of 677. And USDA is very, very specific on having to have at least 2 out of 3 of your numbers, because you know you have 3 credit unions, or not credit unions, you have 3 credit report companies. What are they called? 3 good Lord, I just went blank. Credit reporting agencies, what are they called? Okay, you have Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. USDA pulls all 3 of those, and your two of your numbers have to be above, I believe it's 620, but you're not going to find anybody to do it for 620 because that has to be manual. But for an automatic approval, it has to be, I should have had this pulled up, huh? Okay, your USDA credit score has to be at least 2 out of 3 of your credit scores have to be above 640. So, we do have them all above 640. I thought it was 660 for some reason. No, it's 640. Okay, so you have to have at least 2 out of the 3 above 640. And also, when they pull your credit score at the bank, for some reason it seems like it's lower than when I check the credit score, because every time they have checked it a good 20 points lower. But even if they check it 20 points lower on each one of them, across the board, we should be fine. Or should have been fine. So I guess we have to keep our credit scores above that, like that or above, until we do get our total final approval. Okay, so we couldn't get the last lady to give us a pre-qualification letter because, of course, we weren't pre-qualified. She did, throughout the year, she did give us a few hints, saying because I have a home business that it looks like my income's not high enough, because you do have a minimum and a maximum on your USDA loan income. So our debt to income ratio was not high enough. I believe that's got to be 43% for USDA. Don't quote me on any of this, and I'm not an expert. I'm far from an expert if you haven't figured that out yet. But I'm just taking you along on our journey. Maybe that'll help you with your journey if you're trying to do the same thing, or if you're thinking about buying a house. Because we have been through quite a bit with this. So I'm just giving you what I've learned. And like I said, I'm not an expert, so don't find everything out yourself. Don't take my word for anything. Okay, so we looked at the house. I really don't know where I was at. So we looked at the house Saturday afternoon, called the lady, made plans to see it tomorrow morning. I called the bank Monday. It was either Monday or Tuesday this week. I worked Monday twice, so I don't know if it was between working there twice because I had an issue Monday night I had to go and deal with at the post office, but I don't know if it was Monday or Tuesday. But anyway, I called the bank. It had to have been Monday. Okay, so Monday, I called the bank and spoke with, or called the credit union and spoke with the mortgage expert that left me a message a while back. And I told him that we had issues with the bank prior, that she just strung us along for like a year. Didn't really give us much on why we weren't getting approved, other than we had at the time stuff on our credit report. But since then, they have been paid off. And I also told him that I work for myself, that I do work for the post office, but I don't have a lot of income with the post office, because a lot of times I only work 1 day a week. It does average out to about $300 a week if you take, my yearly, what I've made up into this date, and divide it by the days. It is about $300 a week, because some weeks I only work 1 day, and then some days, some weeks I end up working the whole week. So my income is about $300 a week. And then my husband, we live off of his mileage check as well as his pay. So we thought we made more than that. They will not take a mileage check as income. His mileage check for his company is so good that sometimes it'll pay our rent. Sometimes it's high enough to pay our rent. We never pay our rent with it, because we always pay power, water, internet, and car notes with that check, because it comes a good time of the month. It comes in the middle of the month, so that's perfect for all that stuff. But they won't consider that income. So that was another thing that was slowing us down with the last lady. Well, our income hasn't went up since we did all that with her a year ago. I mean, I worked for the post office then, and I resold on eBay then. My sales are about the same now as they were then. He makes 70 cents more an hour or something now than he did then. But that's it. I mean, that really doesn't add up to that much. So I contacted the credit union, and he said, I need you to go online and fill out the application. I did that. And then he said, I'm going to need copies of your pay stubs for the past month, and also my daughter's. My middle daughter lives with us and works, so they need her pay stubs. USDA considers household income, so everybody in the household. So we need check stubs for the past month. He said, I need your past 2 years tax forms or tax records. He said, I need a profit and loss for your report for your eBay business. I think that's all he asked for. I don't see it here exactly what he asked for. I don't know where that email went. See, he's emailing me 2 different ways. He's emailing me through my email, and then he's emailing me through a secure site. So if it's through the secure site, once I see the message, it's not taking me back to it. I'm trying to get back to it, but it's not taking me back to it. But, so I sent him all the information he needed, except for the profit and loss for the eBay account, because I thought my taxes would show all that. It doesn't. But, yesterday, so every day I've done something and he's done something. He's emailed me or called me every day asking for this or asking for that. He hasn't left me hanging at all. He's been working on it the entire time. And yesterday I got an email from him that said, this was at 3:07 p.m. It said, I'm looking into the USDA loan for you. There is no down payment, and the closing costs are usually much less than 6%. This amount would cover all of your prepaid escrow items as well. You will need to have $2,000 as a reserve fund and about $570 for your appraisal, but just about everything can be negotiated for the seller to pay. Okay. He makes it sound like I can snap my fingers and have $2,570. Because, yes, the seller can pay just about everything, but they can't put $2,000 in a reserve fund for you. I mean, come on. And the appraisal, I believe USDA requires you to pay the appraisal. But other than that, I don't think USDA has any down payment. Everything that I've read, USDA has no down payment. So I'm confused about the 6%. I don't know. I've asked him several times about it, and I don't know. And then at 4:29 yesterday, he sent me the pre-qualification letter, which is what I was trying to get from the bank lady before. And I mean, he's done this within just a couple of days. He's already got us approved with a pre-qualification letter. It says, please see attached pre-qualification letter. The loan amount will be higher than the purchase price due to a 1% funding fee for the USDA. This is rolled into the loan. A few things to keep in mind. You will need to be able to negotiate for the seller to pay some of your closing costs. They can pay up to 6% of the purchase price, which will cover just about everything. You will need to have funds available for your appraisal of $570. You will also need to have at least $2,000 in an account as reserve funds. This is like an emergency fund. You just need to show that you have 2 months of payments in reserve. Please make sure you try to get 60 days to close your loan. The USDA has to review the file after it is underwritten, and they can take a while. We will also need a year-to-date profit and loss statement for your business. A CPA can put this together for you if you have one. It isn't extremely formal. Other than that, I think you are good to start looking. Let me know if you have any questions. So this is what I've done so far. I don't know what a profit and loss statement is. I'm stressing about that. I'm not ready to do my taxes yet. It takes me forever to do my taxes because I've got to gather all this stuff together. And taxes. Taxes being a reseller. Oh, taxes working for yourself. They are not fun. Oh my gosh, they're not fun. Speaking of taxes, one thing that I failed to mention. One reason our income seems so much lower is because as a self-employed person, you are legally allowed to write a pretty good bit of stuff off, including the size of your home that you use for storage or office or whatever. As long as it's only for office or storage or whatever for your business, you're allowed to write that off. You're allowed to write the power off that you use in there. You're allowed to write your mileage off. You are allowed to write so much off that it really helps you when it's tax time. But it really hurts you if you're trying to prove that you have good income. Does that make sense? I didn't think about that until now. It looks like I'm not making hardly anything on eBay, even though I really am. I'm doing pretty good on eBay. But because I'm allowed to write off my office space, I'm allowed to write off the mileage that I'm thrifting, going yard selling and all that stuff. I'm allowed to write off, I used to be able to write off the mileage to the post office because I used to go every day. I mean, there's a lot you can really write off, so it really doesn't look that good if you're trying to buy a house. So be careful of that. But my reply to him was, and $2,000 in reserve funds. What? Okay, so not gonna lie, first thing I did was check my lottery tickets. $4. So I found $4 in lottery funds. I already had $89 in my credit union savings account because I thought, well, I have it. I might as well start using it. So I just started putting some money in there. Let's see, what else did I find last night? I found some money last night. I really did. I found some money. I didn't find $2,000. I didn't find the $2,570 if you include the appraisal. But I did find some money last night. Let's see. Where is that tab? I keep all my notes on Excel. I love Excel. I'm like addicted. I have a tab for everything. Just makes it kind of hard to find stuff. Right beside the tab I'm on right now. Duh. I started with $89.15 already in the account. My husband cashed out some of his PTO to spend on Christmas gifts, which Christmas, what are we going to do? Can I use my credit cards? I don't know. So we had half of what he cashed out left in our account. So I took $400 of that and put in there. I had a 53-cent check from a class action lawsuit. Yes, 53-cent check. It costs that much to send it almost. I had, let me add this one. I forgot to add that one. Okay. I had, when I bought my new Honda, the place I bought it from mailed me a check for the tag. And when it was time to get the tag, I just went and bought the tag and put the check aside for a rainy day. I figured I would need it. And guess what? I need it. So $305.22 from the tag. I had $134.10 balance in my Macquarie account. So I added that to the savings account. I had $87 in swag bucks. I love swag bucks. I use swag bucks. It's SWAGBUCKS. That's what I use to shop through. You know, it's like to get bonus money or whatever. I do that for Walmart grocery orders. I do that for Target orders, whatever, eBay. I mean, if I'm buying something off eBay, anything that I buy online, I go through the Swagbucks website to get it. And I'll put my referral link down below. But I was able to get a $50 PayPal gift card from them and a $25 PayPal gift card from them. So that totaled $75. And as soon as it hits my PayPal, I'm going to transfer it to the savings account, the credit union savings account. I had the $4 in lottery winnings. And yes, I actually took $4 out of my checking account and put it into the credit union account. Because that's, I consider it extra. And I'm keeping track of everything because we bought a house when I was 19 years old. And they had to know where every bit of money came from. So I'm keeping track of all of it. I mean, I've got class action lawsuit check, 53 cents. Lottery winnings, $4. I don't know who that is. My phone has been blowing up now that I'm looking for a house, now that we've gotten approved for more. I mean, this week it's just been crazy. Both, they'll call my home phone and they'll call my cell phone. How they got the number, I don't know. They're driving me nuts. So probably fixing to call this phone right here. So I probably need to stop this video. There we go. Okay. So I started needing $2,570 after everything I found last night. I found money last night. I found $1,008 last night. So for my $2,570 that I need, the $2,000 in reserve, and then the $570 for the appraisal, I'm only short $1,562. That's it. I got this. I got this, y'all, because thank God for the post office. Can't believe I said that, but thank God for the post office. I worked last week. Let's see, postal hours. My regular was out last week. It was Veterans Day week, so we were closed Monday. So I worked Tuesday through Saturday. I'm going to tell y'all how much my check's going to be. And I get paid mileage too. I get paid 73 cents a mile, so that adds up too. But when I look and see how much my check should be, I don't look at that. I just look at my hours, and that way, with taxes and everything taken out, it should equal what I look at. All right, so I worked Saturday the 9th. We were closed on Monday the 11th. So I worked Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then I worked Monday. This past Monday, I worked twice. I ran a short route, and then I ran packages. So this check should be around $1,100. Okay, so it should be about $1,100. So if I take that $1,100, because I've already got, my check goes into our regular bank's savings account, and then my rent just pulls from that savings account, and that way I know that we're going to have the money. Well, since there's an extra payday this month, this extra large check that I normally wouldn't get is going, is extra. It's extra. I never have extra money, especially $1,100. So once that check comes in, if it's $1,100, we will only be $462 short, which means we're going to have over $2,000 in the account. No, we won't have the $2,570, but we'll have over $2,000 in the account. And the appraisal, I'm not sure exactly when that's due, but maybe we can get the additional funds up by then, because we'll only be, let's see what would be short, equals 570 minus 462. We would be, I just did that math wrong. Okay, so for the appraisal, we'd be $462 short. That's not due right now. So at least it would look like we've got enough money in the savings account, and hopefully we'll have enough to build up. Maybe I can find more found money. That would be great. I just need another $500, right? So anyway, that's covered. So that is really, I freaked out, panicked, almost cried, you know, to begin with when he said we needed that much money, but I think that's covered. I think we're good. The profit and loss statement, I'm honestly stressing about. I have somebody that does my taxes, but they just do my taxes. They're not like my CPA throughout the year. They just do my taxes. I give them what they ask me for, and that's it. I guess I could call them and ask them how much it would be to help me out with that. I don't know. But my reply back to him was, hello, thank you for moving so quickly. I do have a few questions to start with. I am sure there will be more. I am very sorry if they sound stupid. USDA has no closing cost, right? A bunch of question marks. Can I use my credit cards at all? Christmas is coming, LOL. Yes, I put that in there. No, I'm not 100% professional, but I have learned, I used to be a professional, and I have learned in my time that you actually get further talking to somebody like they're a normal person, not being 100% professional all the time. How boring would it be if you were? So I put, can I use my credit cards at all? Christmas is coming, LOL. If so, is there a max percentage of my credit that I need to use? Like, go no higher than 35% or whatever. How long do I have to get the $2,000? I have found around $1,000 so far by cashing out what I had from selling on Macquarie and from what I have earned on Swag Bucks and stuff like that. I am putting everything into the credit union savings account as I gather it. Is the USDA reviewing it now, or do they need to start the review until we find something? Is $150,000 our absolute cutoff? I am working on the profit and loss report. I will send that as soon as I get it. Thank you for all of your help. This credit union has been amazing. Okay, so because the house that we looked at last weekend was $149,000, it's been for sale for quite a while. It's been abandoned for quite a while. I'm sure they'll take way less. But I had $150,000 in my head. So when I applied for the loan through the credit union, it said your information you put down does not have to be 100% correct. We will get back with you when you have final numbers, because we know that you're like not, you know, you don't know your house, you don't know which one you're looking at, you know how much it's going to be, that kind of thing. I should have put higher, but I had $150,000 in my head. So I put $150,000 down, and my pre-qualification letter has $150,000. We have since found a house for $189,000 that we absolutely love. At least I absolutely love. So what now? That's why I said, is $150,000 it final? You know. But the pre-qualification letter says, and it's only in my name, which I think is weird. I would think it would be my husband's name too, because everything we do is in both of our names. So that just kind of throws me off that this letter is just in mine. But it says, congratulations on your pre-qualification. This pre-qualification is based on a review of the income, credit, and asset information you have provided and is subject to a formal underwriting review. Loan breakdown. Loan program is the USDA RD30. I had to look that up, but that means your rates will not change. So that's great. 30-year fixed rate loan. Don't want anything that changes. Unless it goes down, I don't want it. Loan amount is $151,515. He said it'd be a little bit higher because of the interest and all that. Or not interest, because of, what do you call it? Oh, I just got another letter back from him. Okay, I'll read that in a minute. Purchase price $150,000. Expiration date is January 15th, 2020. So we have 60 days to find something. But then he says he needed at least 60 days to close. So that kind of threw me off too. Here at this credit union, we are committed to making your home purchase as easy as possible. We proudly offer service that soars above to our members. To people who live, work, worship, or attend school in these counties in Florida, Alabama, or Georgia, and it lists all the counties that they'll cover. Should you or your real estate agent have any questions regarding this pre-qualification, please do not hesitate to give me a call. I look forward to helping you with the purchase of your new home. And it says in small print at the bottom, this proposal is valid for 60 days. If we do not receive an executed agreement within 60 days, we will be unable to give further consideration to your credit request. Should you wish to continue with your request, you will be required to start the process over. This pre-approval is not a final loan approval or commitment to lend. This pre-approval is contingent on an approved loan application, which will include verification and approval of the information we received to issue this approval, as well as your credit, income, employment status, debt, property, insurance appraisal, and a satisfactory title report /search. This also may be contingent on the sale of your current home we don't own right now. Not all properties are eligible for financing. Interest rates are used for qualifying purchases only and do not constitute a rate lock commitment. Rates are subject to change. The rate we're getting is 3-point-something% if everything goes fine. And the payments, because they gave us the schedule of what the payments would be if we used $150,000. Our payments would be $225 or $222 less than what we pay now for rent a month. That would be great. And the payments go down just a little bit every year. So they would start at $703 and they would go down to $667, the last year. Now here's the new email I got, and I have not read this yet. So let's read this together. USDA has no down payment, but they do have closing costs. They will allow you to negotiate the seller to pay them. A realtor can help you with this. I would limit the credit card use as much as possible and definitely don't take out any other loans. Okay. If you use them, make sure you keep them low enough not to increase your monthly payment too much. I would keep them under 35% utilized, definitely. Okay, the good thing, I'm going to stop there for a second. The good thing is I did take all the money and pay off all the credit cards. Or I took money out, on the credit union credit card and paid off all my other credit cards. But not all of them are showing paid off my credit report. So maybe we can use them up to the max of what they are now. They're not maxed out, but like one of them shows $250. So maybe we can use that one again up to $250. Does that make sense? I'll come back to this. The money that you have in the 401k will be okay for the $2,000. Okay, so I don't need to freak out. Oh my gosh. So we do have Christmas then. Oh, good Lord. This is only reserve funds. You won't have to spend it. Only show that you have access to it. Remember, closing costs are only the amount that you are not able to negotiate the seller to pay. If they pay them all, your only out-of-pocket is the $570 for the appraisal and the inspection you will do to get your insurance. If there is a water well, this will need an inspection also. You will need a pest inspection, a septic inspection if the appraisal notes that one is recommended. USDA only reviews if the loan is completely through the other underwriting process. So your first thing is to find a house and get a contract for purchase. I would say stay at 150 or possibly 155. This will ensure that you are under the debt-to-income max and give a little room for unexpected things. No stupid questions. Ask anything you need. Okay. Okay, y'all. This is real life, and I feel a little bit better now. So we have access to the 401k, so we don't have to have the $4,000 or the $2,000 in the account. Okay, that's why he made it sound so nonchalant, because I was like, he just says it like we just got $2,000 laying around, and he knows our finances, so he knows we ain't got $2,000 laying around. Okay, I feel good. So we have the $570. We might be getting a house soon. Okay, so I need to call my husband, huh? back to a couple of things I left off. The reason I said, I'll tell you later in a minute, about it being maybe a bad thing working at the post office and trying to buy a house. Delivering mail, you know, there's 700 some odd, actually 800 some odd. I had the number. Let's see. On my route, before I updated this paper, this is not 100% up to date. We just got a tiny raise on my route, which means the boxes went up. But there are 736 stops every day, every single day, 736 stops with a total of 846 boxes. 846 mailboxes. Some of them are apartments. That's why that number's different. Or townhouses or trailers, trailer park or whatever. But 846 boxes on my route. There's 10 routes at this post office. You deliver mail to the same people every single day. You get to know these people. You get to like these people. You get to hate these people. You get to learn their history. You get to meet their kids. You know their animals. You know if they're clean. You know if they're messy. I mean, you really know a lot more about the people you deliver to than you really ever wanted to know. You know the good. You know the bad. Every neighborhood, I don't care where you live, every neighborhood has bad. Every neighborhood has that one house that has the kids that run wild. They have that one house that has the violent dogs that they can't always keep on a leash. And dogs hate mailmen, you know that, right? They can sniff us out. Every neighborhood has a trashy neighbor. Somebody that always leaves their trash can at the road. Somebody that has trash in their yard. Somebody that drinks the beer and throws it out the back door. There's bad in every neighborhood. And I'm not saying that's bad. If you like to have a beer and throw it in your backyard, fine. I just don't want to live next door to you. I don't want to have to drive past a dump to get to my house. And living out here, there's not very many neighborhoods with HOAs. We will stay away from the neighborhoods with HOAs. I know HOAs will prevent a lot of that, but HOAs will also tell me how to live my life, and I don't want that. My best friend that just bought a house last year with her USDA loan lives in a neighborhood that is beautiful. I mean, it's a nice neighborhood. The houses are kind of close together, but it's really nice. We went 2018 to her house and spent Halloween with them and had a fabulous time. We sat out front and we just, talked and laughed and drank a little bit, and, the kids trick-or-treated and we gave out candy. And we just really, really had a good time. Well, this year we thought we'd do the same thing. The HOA said no. No. We're not having trick-or-treaters this year because our insurance has lapsed, and if somebody falls, then we're liable. What? You're kidding me. If we lived there, my kids couldn't go trick-or-treating in the neighborhood because the insurance lapsed. Is my HOA fees going to be less because you didn't pay insurance last month? Doesn't everybody have their own insurance? You have to have your own house insurance. If I fell in somebody's yard and it was like their fault, I wouldn't be suing the HOA, if I was stupid enough to fall in somebody's yard, I don't believe in suing everybody anyway, but I'm not going to live in a neighborhood. You can't tell me I can't trick-or-treat. I can't take my kids trick-or-treat. I can't sit out front and, have a beer and all that stuff. I'm not going to live in a neighborhood, pay extra money that will never get paid off. That's something that even after you pay your house off, you still have to continue to pay. And some of them in Gulf Shores, oh my gosh, $500 and $600 a month. That's a house note, and that's forever. You never get that. You never get that paid off. I mean, I know the amenities are great, you know, pool and golf course and, you know, all that stuff. I ain't got all that money, and if I did, I wouldn't be wasting on HOA. I'd build my own pool. You know, go get a golf membership somewhere. I don't play golf, but you know, I don't know. Anyway, and my husband really wants some land too. He was a country boy, so he would like to find a house with some land, a little bit of land. So working at the post office, especially the regulars know their neighborhoods. They know, you know, they know everything about them. So every time that I've mentioned a house, there's been a problem. So the last house that we looked at, it was on a private road, and you had to pass the dumpy trailers on the way to the house at the end of the road. The house was really, really, really nice. It's still for sale, and it will be for sale for a while. And it was really a good deal. It was like $130, and they could probably get a lot less for the, or you could probably buy it for a lot less because of what you have to pass to get there. But I don't want, with it being a private road, it would never, ever, ever get cleaned up. It would never, you would never be able to do anything about them, you know. And I just don't want, and the roads like mountainous to get down. So, yeah, that's a no. But I asked post office about that house, and they was like, no, you don't want to live there. Well, this one that the lady was telling me about last week that we went and looked at, the one that we've got an appointment for tomorrow, that one, it's on 5 acres. They want $149,000. It's 2-story. It's a really nice house. What we can tell, it's really nice. It's been abandoned for a while, so we really have to do a really good inspection on it. I mentioned it to the regular carrier, or the one that used to be the regular carrier on that route. And she said, that's a hard no. And I said, really? Why? And she said, no. She said, the guy behind you is in prison right now, along with a lot of his family. There's a girl that went missing around these parts. And it's been on the news here for many, many, many years. They never found her, but her uncle committed suicide, and it's just been, half her family went to jail for child abuse. All the kids got taken away. I mean, it was a hot mess. That family lives over there. She said he's in prison right now. The main one's in prison, but he'll get out one day. So it's like, what do you do? What do you do? Every house we look at, there's something. There's something. I mean, there's somebody. There's some reason not to get it. So I don't know if working at the post office is a good thing or not, because you do know, you know your neighbors, especially running the routes. You know. So I guess it's good. I guess it's bad. I don't know. But we found another house that we really are interested in. We found it last night. It would be perfect for us. It's got, how many bedrooms and mass? I think it's 3-2. But it's got sheds, lots of outside buildings for, one could be for eBay, one we could make into a she shed for my daughter. I mean, it's just, yeah, it's 3-2. It's 1,905 square foot. It's got a jacuzzi. It's got a generator, which is amazing, you know, hurricane season. It's got a above ground pool, but it's got the deck built around it. It's got a huge screened-in porch, new AC. It's awesome. I mean, it is awesome. I really like it. The only thing I do not like about it is the appliances. Those can eventually be changed. I like the size of the kitchen. I love the floors. There's no carpet. I hate carpet with a passion. I mean, it's perfect. The problem is, there's one problem. It's $189,000, and it just got listed, so they're not going to come down. $189,000, and all I asked for was $150,000. Now what? You're not going to be able to talk them down to $150,000. I mean, it just got listed. Excuse me. But that's not out in the country. It's not in a neighborhood, but it's not really exactly in the country. But you do get, I think, a half acre with it. Or you get 1.14 acres, so you get over an acre with it. So it's good land. But now he told me 155 is about all we got, huh? I don't know. I don't know what to do. There's no HOA because it's not in the neighborhood. I don't know. Well, we're gonna look at the 150,000 one tomorrow. Hopefully I can look at this 189,000 soon. It last sold 6 years ago for 120, I think. So either they did a lot of improvements or they might take lower. I don't know. I sure do like it though. It's pretty. And it's brick. It's got everything on our list of wants and needs. Other than the price. But what is our list of wants and needs? 3 or 4 bedroom. 3 bedroom with a storage building. A climate controlled storage building because it's so humid down here. I've got to have some place to put my eBay inventory. And I have over 2,000 items listed. But I've got to have somewhere to put that. So it's probably better 4 bedrooms and a shed. Because I also need a place for the office. This place, there's a screen-in porch that goes all the way around one side and the back. I wonder if I could somehow make that my office. That would be great. Not the whole thing, just like a part of it. I don't know. Depends on if we could close part of that in. That would be great. But that's our wants and needs. And we would like to have no carpet. We would like to have stainless steel appliances, but that's something we could add later. We would like to have some place to put my oldest daughter. This one has a 2-story storage shed with windows. You could make that a tiny home. If it's got power, I can't tell. By looking at it, it looks like it must, though. What else? Wants and needs. We just want someplace to come home. We want something move-in ready. We don't want a lot of work because we're not good at a lot of work, and we don't have time for a lot of work. Work takes time that we do not have. So this one has a fenced-in backyard. That would be great for our dog. We really want fenced in. I don't know. This house is just like perfect. Why didn't I ask for more? So I'm going to close this one out. And every time I get something from the bank or I send something to the bank, I will do an update. I will do an update on the profit and loss form that I have to create or have somebody create. I'll do an update on that. But anyway, I'll just keep y'all updated through the whole process. I'm sorry this video is so long. But if you're a reseller or you own your own home, own your own business, just be prepared for a lot of paperwork, a lot of time. Join a credit union. I've been told join a credit union for years, and I just haven't listened. I mean, they are definitely more small town friendly than a bank. And I think we're getting ready to move our checking account over to them too. We use a nationwide bank for that, and I really don't like them. They're awful. They're awful people to deal with. They're so rude. I have went around and around with them and their bosses and their bosses' bosses, and I've had fits with that bank. But, yeah, so tune in for part 2. Thanks for watching, guys.